Introduce our speaker, Jennifer, to get her presentation going. Jennifer, over to you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you to Wesk. And thank you to Wanda Hunchak that bridged the connection here. I've been really looking forward to this. So thank you, Wesk. I've got 2 Zoom presentations. And whether you're a business owner or with supporting staff, or you're a small, lean professional team of maybe 1 or 2, or maybe you're a full-time employee with group benefits, maybe even a side hustle, I know I can add some value to your investment strategy, no matter what stage of investing that you're at. I want to focus on you today. I know there's always the focus on the business, and you put that first likely, and your kids first, and your family first, but I want to focus on you, your own financial clarity and foundation. And it really starts at home first in your household between you and your partner, or maybe just you on your own. Okay, my second lunch in June, that conversation is from the perspective of looking at being a business owner and looking at how can I retain and support my employees, and then realizing that, yeah, okay, I've got some investable assets. Do you know all your options? Do you know what you're holding? Do you know what the stocks are? Do you know what a structured note is? Just unpacking the tools of investing. And then also we're going to look at some case studies of women just like you that are using investment strategies in their 20s, 40s, 60s, and 80s. Okay, but for today, thank you for joining me today over your lunch to look at common financial planning challenges affecting women. Okay, I will be straight up transparent, and it starts right at the beginning with unpacking 3 questions to ask yourself. I will help. I hope you have resources that I sent out. But listen, there is so much interest and momentum in studying women in wealth. This is a hot topic, okay? And no doubt as to why. I'll share some of those reasons. And I'm hoping that you're holding copies of the 4 leave behinds provided. I can't see the chat. I'm not going to touch the screens, but if you don't have the 4 resources, please get in touch with Tanya, and she can email those to you. I have 24 slides that we're going to review in 45 minutes, so lots of time. I'll try not to rush. I'm a bit excited, but you can read more about me and my story on my microsite and on LinkedIn. I'm really proud to be a licensed professional in this industry, and I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And so there's a couple sections to address questions throughout this, but then I also want to leave time at the end as well. So don't be shy. There's no dumb questions here. Okay, this is a safe space. Okay, I'll do my best to answer everything. Okay, but I'm going to jump in, tell you a little bit about myself. Since becoming licensed and dangerous back in 2019, I am on a mission to share what I've learned. Information's power, right? And you don't need to become an expert. Just work with one. Okay, no matter what stage of life that you're in or what savvy strategies you're using for investing, everyone needs financial clarity. Okay, my passion is to help my clients make confident decisions, and those can be made once you understand your options. Okay, a fearless women's mindset can be a huge game changer. We know this, right? I want to help you and empower you and bring you even higher than you've come, and help you find your own financial clarity, or add another layer of context to it. Okay, I have some of the resources that are going to help you go through that work. So I'm going to jump in and get started. Okay, next slide here. These are the 3 questions. Okay, I'm going to unpack these, and I won't leave you hanging. I do have resources, but here's where it starts. Number 1, where to get your financial advice. Number 2, where are your sources of income? And number 3, do you have investable assets? You'll know more about these at the end of the presentation, and I can't wait to address questions that you have. Maybe you want to have a specific one-on-one conversation with me. I'm open to that. You'll know how to get a hold of me. But let's start at the beginning. Where do you get your financial advice? Okay, be real. Okay, talking about money is uncomfortable. Okay, it can be, right? But it's a key step towards achieving financial independence. Okay, the hesitation in discussing numbers makes it difficult to have productive conversations about the best approach to take for you and your budget. Okay, not to mention this hesitation can become dangerous when people start seeking information from unreliable sources. Okay. Once you start asking, everyone has an option, right? And an opinion and a story, right? And there's so much noise out there. It can be totally overwhelming, right? And then there's the internet, right? Podcasts, ads, movies, being influenced on social media, rabbit holes, right? And the scams out there with super unrealistic expectations in terms of risk or performance, right? Just click a button. It's an app, right? There's an app for that. Listen, there's always going to be a crowd that's looking to believe that get rich quick story. It's fiction. Okay, it doesn't work like that. There's no shortcuts, and it comes down to resiliency and hard work on building wealth and saving money. But talking about money, it usually starts at home, right? Typically, attitudes about money start at home, good, bad, or ugly. So normal part of life at home, watching our parents when we were kids work or struggle or balance the list of wants and needs at home back in the day, right? And I don't know if hockey was that expensive then or dance was that expensive then, but things have gone up. Anywho, so was there enough? Like not everybody had holidays and enough for the extras. So that can shape you, right? It will shape you. And you're either, coming from a few places. One is confidence and secure and go get them. And then there's others that come from a space of fear, right? Because money can be emotional, right? And it can be scary when there's not enough, right? Or start fights when there's not expenses being shared proportionally, right? So when there's different priorities competing, that's tough, right? But it starts at home, and there's a balance between as we're growing and learning and start earning and earning more and then have kids and spend more and more and more, and it takes time, right? But if you can create moments at home to talk about it, talk about credit cards, talk about interest, talk about taxes, right? Have those conversations at home, and then match that with a practice of a strong work ethic to spend less than you earn, right? Avoid paying interest or manage it anyways. And then life changes, things happen. Okay, you know what also helps? Getting professional advice. That helps. Okay, it's known to improve confidence, well-being, and financial resiliency, especially in a context of uncertainty. Okay, so studies are confirming that those that work with an advisor and stick to their plan, they feel less stressed about money, and then less stressed than others anyways. And this has a positive impact on the household financial resiliency. It's going to help you. So step back, get a scale of perspective here. I'm going to move to the next slide. Oh, look at that. Where do you get your financial advice? Here's the next tidbit that I want to share with you. Simple facts. Simple facts. These are simple truths here. Okay. Everyone's largest asset in life is our ability to earn an income. You want to earn more? Work more hours. Okay. Knowing that ought to keep us a little bit motivated to stay healthy so we can work and continue to earn. Okay. Second, our largest expense in life is income tax. It is. So it's the biggest expense while we're alive, and it's the biggest expense when we die. Okay. The more we earn, the more we pay. But there are ways to be tax efficient. There are ways to save. Okay. And third, we typically live longer than men. It's growing. We're at four years plus. Okay. We just are. We live longer than the guys. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about money and earning. And here we go. Here's a money shot. Okay, this is why you're here. I could unpack this for a long time, but I want to keep it succinct here. Every one of us can relate to these. Okay, these are the common financial planning challenges affecting the female investor. Okay, research is showing us that 3 out of 4 women would have liked to be more involved in managing their finances sooner. Because when we look at how we got here, okay, it's unfortunate, but we've been held back. We know this, okay? We know that historically, generally, women have been mostly kept out of the financial decisions. It's a traditional division of roles in the household, which has given men the major role in financial decisions. And we're looking at the consequences today. Okay, the consequences that when it comes to time to transfer the wealth due to divorce, due to death, or being a couple and selling assets, and then the tax consequences, okay, it can be shocking for some women, for some men, for people, for humans, okay, but specifically for women. Because let's look at some of these economic realities. We earn less. That gap was bigger. We're closing it. It's taking time and work, but it's true. We're paid less. We take on more unpaid work, taking care of our babies and our parents. And we want to do that. Most of us want to do that. Some of us are forced into it. Anyway, we take on more unpaid work. That takes time. And we live longer. Something else to consider, some of us marry older men and we outlive them. So that's a thing. Okay. Specifically in unpredictable life events, everyone, you don't have to have lost someone to have debt, right? If you get buried in interest, that can happen to anyone. Divorce has a more negative impact on the financial well-being of women than the death of a spouse. Kind of heavy, okay? But these are truths, okay? The challenge of being alone financially in later years, it's greater for women, okay? It's estimated that about 80% of the men that do die, they're married, okay? So we spend more time alone, and we are the independent financial carriers of our assets. What this can lead to, okay, it's fear of making a mistake. Okay, we don't want to be a burden, and we need the attention of professionals, right? To ask us the questions, listen to our questions, give us an answer in terms that we understand. We're not simple, but we have been kind of kept out of a lot of the vocabulary. So come on, arm us with some information, give us the freedom to make a mistake and some time to recover. But women care about risk, right? The industry got it wrong to make assumptions about women that we're not interested or we can't handle the risk. Look at the risk we carry, right? We've got a perfect storm colliding here of sexism and ageism. And it's tough, right? And we need to learn to talk about risk. Okay, I'm going to keep going on to the different slide, but I'm sure there's a lot of you that can relate to something on here. I know you can. Okay, where are we today? We are moving the needle. We represent an increasingly influential segment within the Canadian wealth management market. And this is where it gets really exciting, because there is a tidal wave coming. There's a tidal wave coming from greater overall participation in the workforce. There's more participation at far higher levels in terms of professional responsibilities. And there's an increase in female entrepreneurship. Okay, we're already managing 2.2 trillion trillion, and there's more coming. Okay, we see a pattern of women outliving their husbands and partners. We have a demographic structure of the population being a baby boomer cohort that has generated and accumulated wealth at an unprecedented rate and unprecedented returns. Okay, we could see in this decade that wealth may pass to a spouse and then to a daughter in the same decade. That's money in motion, and women are the beneficiaries. Pretty cool. So we're almost halfway through 2024. Okay, by 2026, What percentage of all financial wealth are women set to control in Canada? Half. We're only a year and a half away from that. But in the next decade, it's estimated that over 900 billion in assets will pass from one generation to the next in the largest transfer of wealth in Canadian history. Yeah. So what's driving this change? Okay, besides more professional participation in the workforce, okay, besides more professional women with big financial responsibilities, managing capital, okay, and an increase in female entrepreneurship. Okay, what else is driving this wave? I tell you, it's inheritances to women. It's divorce. Okay, women of all ages are expected to benefit disproportionately from the transfer of wealth over the next decade. So here we are. Okay, I want to empower you because a fearless woman's mindset can be a huge game changer, right? It is crucial that women be properly equipped to preserve, protect, and grow their assets with confidence and independence, not just, I don't know. He takes care of it. No, take care of it. At some point in their lifetime, 90% of women will be required to play the role of sole financial decision maker. Okay, let's go. Let's do the work. I got a good recipe, right? Do the homework. It takes some time and being very real with yourself and your bank statements. Okay, this isn't new news. I'm sharing old facts with you, but the emphasis is on you and your financial independence. Okay, here's another thing. Work with a professional. Professionals know more, and information's power. Okay, and we are so different than men, right? We don't want to be a burden to our parents or our partners or our children. Women will seek security for more, right, over prosperity. Okay, the guys want like numbers and percentages and reports. And trust me, there's a lot of babes out there that want that too, for sure. But women generally tend to want a broader win, right? Are we going to be okay? How much? You know, we're in this together. So let's work together. Okay, this is the big picture question, right? And it's critical to get a sense of proportion. So be real with yourself about where you are and where you want to go. So what do you want? Some might not know right off the hop, but you don't know until you write it down, or you don't even know it's possible, but be realistic. Okay, and it's tough to not compare yourself to others, right? But keep it real. Keep it about you. It's your priority list. Okay, what do you want? Those are your priorities and your values. Can you retire? Right? Unpack that a little bit. There's things that you have to take care of, right? The mortgage, the car loans. We should probably educate our children or pay for a portion of it anyways, taking care of our parents, keeping the fridge full, keeping the Wi-Fi on, keeping the water hot and that cold water flowing, right? A lot of responsibilities. But then after that, what are we looking at? What do you want to do? Do you want to have an increase in your lifestyle? Do you want to have a second home? Do you want to travel? Got a plan, got a budget. So anything is possible, but we have to make it happen. And no one's going to care more than us. So do the work. It's important. So I hope from what I've listed here and put out there that I've given you a little bit to think about where you get your financial advice. I can't see the chat box, Tanya. Is there any questions that we can tackle now at this point?
I'm not seeing any questions, but
Okay.
yeah, you guys can go ahead to add questions if you have them as she goes through.
That's cool. I don't want to leave anyone hanging. I've got some information and we're just getting to the juicy part here. So I'm just going to keep moving. Okay. I know there'll be questions at the end. So here we are. Where are your sources of income? Bring out your handouts, your leave behinds. Okay. I printed mine off. Net worth. Okay. This, go through it line by line, and you're going to adjust this annually. Okay. your assets, take a list, right? The value of your home, all the automobiles, your trailer, right? All of your expensive jewelry, your electronics, okay? And then you get into investments. People can have TFSAs all over the city, okay? You need to track it and see where they are, okay? Total them up. What do you got? RSPs, again, they could be all over the place. Get an idea of what you've got, write it down, okay? Spousal RSP, that's a thing. Locked income retirement accounts, LIRAs, that's a thing. RESPs, okay, that's the kids' money for education, because that's so cheap. But then your pension plan, you might have your own investment account, you might have a corporate account, add it up, okay? I mean, this isn't new information, but it is a good tool to have. And I can't stress the importance of reviewing this on an annual basis enough, because it's going to change year to year. It's either going to change because your investments have gone up, okay, or your real estate has gone up, or you've saved more, but it's also going to go up because you pay your liabilities, you pay your loans, and you know your interest rates, okay, your interest rate on your mortgage, your interest rate on your lease, your credit cards, okay? Ask the questions, look at the statements, figure it out, because it can go, your net worth can go up without even making more money. It's just you've got a handle on your debt. This is very important, okay? Know your interest rates. Okay, next one, monthly budget worksheet. I love this one. I love it. So you're going to write down all your income, right? All the different sources. Maybe you've got a side hustle. Maybe you're taking a dividend. Maybe you're getting paid a salary, right? What have you got? Write down your taxes. It's gross, but it's a thing. Write down your taxes. Okay. All of your insurances. Okay. Your utilities. Are you paying for your cell phone and your kid's cell phone and their like write it all down. Groceries. That's a line item. Okay. Childcare, all your insurances. Again, insurance can be expensive. You need it. You never really want to need it, but you have to pay the premiums. It's important. Okay, miscellaneous. This is where things can get kind of crazy, right? Movies, entertainment. I mean, how many subscriptions do you have? I don't have to. I'm sure you're aware. The clothing, the gifts. It's like, oh, well, you know, we don't always have a birthday, or we don't always have, you know, Christmas. Comes around every year. Every year. There's something every 3 months, right? Keep track of it, right? The dry cleaning, all of the toiletries, the, you know, stuff at Joe Fresh, right? Is it groceries or is it clothes, right? You track it. Go through your bank statements and figure it out. Once you do it once, do it again and again and again. You want 3 months. I want you to know what you need for 3 months of expenses. So you go through this and you see, okay, yeah, I need about $4,000 a month to keep all the lights on and the fridge full. And the car full. I need $4,000. So do you have anything left over at the end of the month? You need to. Okay. If you don't yet, tackle that debt. Okay. And if you have realized, okay, I need $4,000 a month, here's what you're going to do. You're going to save 12. Okay. You need 3 to 4 months to save. That's the first step. Okay. Next slide. Saving. Step 1, saving. Get it in place. Okay. And how does it work? You're putting money into the bank, depositing, right? Credit. Keep going. Okay. This is the, oh my God, money. I think I'm just going to get away for the weekend money. It's that too. Okay. Keep it close. Have the discipline and don't spend it. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. You'll save it. Here's the reality of it. There are some drawbacks. You're going to have bank fees. There's going to be some inflation. Assume 4%. Any money you grow at the bank, you're going to get taxed on. The bank will send you a T5, right? This isn't money to grow. I mean, you want it to grow because you're making the deposits. but this money isn't set to work for you. It's just sent to save your life. Okay. Step 2 is the investing. Once you have that saving, put your money to work for you and protect it. Make it tax efficient. Make it more. Okay. That's when we start talking. Okay. So you're using the market to take opportunities to make it more. You're taking on some risk. Okay. Here's the no-brainer. Keep it tax deferred or tax free. Okay, I can unpack those later and show you your options. But the other benefit to using a tax deferred or tax free account is you can transfer tax free to an assigned beneficiary. That is so important. So important. And you set that up at the beginning. So if you've started something and you've had a bit of a life event, check your beneficiaries, change them. It's difficult to do sometimes, depending on who you work with. I can help you. Okay. Beneficiaries are important. Tax-free is important. Tax deferred is important. Okay. What do we got here? Where are your sources of income? So I hope that going through those budgets of the net worth and the monthly income, I hope that I have helped you realize where that is coming from and given you tools. Listen, there's also tools that I shared as well. This wealth planning information for Canadian residents. There's a lot on there. I didn't design that, but there's some really important information on here that might prompt some questions, right? Probate fees. Have you heard of those? Personal income tax rates, the life accumulation of the TFSA amounts. Anyways, there's a lot of information on here. And then also one of the tools that I shared was information to gather preparing your tax return. Okay, you've probably gone already through your personal taxes. We're past that in the calendar, but maybe you're probably right in the thick of doing your corporate or your business taxes. That's a thing. Have the handy tools. These are just to refer to. Work with an accountant. Anywho, these are handy resources. I hope that everyone has received them. Please email me if you haven't. Before I get into the next question, Tanya, I'm just going to take a pulse here. How am I doing?
Good. There's just one question in the Q&A. The person
Okay.
was asking, so it says, "Hi Jen, thanks for your presentation. Does it cost me anything to come and see you?" Yes.
Yes, good question. Nope. I'm not like the dentist or the lawyer. It's free to talk. It's free to talk. I'm going to it's a fair question to ask. A good question to ask, and I'll get to that screen and give you a bit of a script of some questions to ask advisors when you're interviewing them. Okay, because you don't just take the first piece of advice that you hear, okay, or the first person that you get an appointment with, or the first person at the teller of the bank. Yes, please come and talk to me. No, there is not a charge to come and talk to me. That's not how I get paid. Okay, I hope I answered the question, and I hope you've got the tools to look at where your sources of income are, and a handy dandy tax planning sheet so that you can see opportunities to make tax credits, okay, or distributions, okay? It's important to talk about that. Okay, I'm going to move on to, do you have investable assets? Okay. So, money shot. Wait, no, this is the money shot. This is the one. So, you have positive cash flow. Okay, you've been saving enough. You've got 3 months of savings in the account at the bank. You've got your mortgage and some manageable expenses, and you've got steady income. Awesome. That's not easy, but you're doing it. Okay. This is when we start talking about the which type of account to use. Okay. And then what tools to use. But these are the tax deferred or tax-free accounts. Okay. I've talked about the importance and the awareness of income tax. So here's where working with a professional can help you. Okay. And actually getting free money from the tax credits. I'm going to show you how. Okay. I want you to get it. So something else that you will probably uncover when you're going through your assets is LIRAs. Locked. investment retirement accounts. These are investable assets, okay? Except for the ones that you're contributing to at work. Just keep doing that all day. Take that free money from your employer. I mean, it's not free, but like take their contribution. But then when you leave a career, usually, hopefully, there's been some pension attached to that. Places like PEP, SHEP, MAP, right? Great West Life, Manulife, like they can be all over the place, right? You can access these investments at 55 years age, but these are intended to last until you're 90. So the pace of withdrawal, you want it to be low because you don't want to pay a lot of income tax when it's withdrawn. These are investable assets. You can't add to it, but you can make it more. And transferring investable assets doesn't trigger tax consequences. Until you withdraw, you're not paying tax. Okay. So you're starting to invest. Here we are. Here's some simple tips. Okay. Educate yourself. Talk to a professional. Okay. I'm right here. Start small. $5,000. I mean, that's a good chunk of change, but that's also a nice, modest amount to start working with. Okay. Set some expectations and risk tolerance. Okay. Know what you're getting into, and pay attention, but don't get obsessed. Okay. You have to sleep at night. I'm the one that gets paid to worry about this, right? Let me do the worrying and I will help guide you within your risk tolerance, but like pay attention, but don't get obsessed. Okay. And try not to let volatility scare you. It's normal for market cycles to fluctuate, and there is no one size fits all, or no, political party that's one size fits all. The government is not the stock market. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Number 6, avoid moving your money around every time there's a change in the market. Okay, money can be like soap. The more you touch it, the more it's going to disappear because it costs money to move things sometimes. Anyway, just don't make a change every time there's a change in the market. Consider specific sectors, like geographic regions, maybe some that you can't access. I can. Okay. And remember that different doesn't mean differentiation. You want to avoid overlaps. Oh, I bought RSPs. What'd you buy? Oh, I think I've got some mutual funds. What are you holding? I don't know. There's about 8 of them. Okay. Just because they're different doesn't mean you've got differentiation. Okay. And you want to avoid those overlaps. So work with a professional, because you don't want to pay people to buy the same thing. That makes no sense, right? Asset allocation, work with a professional. Don't freak out. Simple tips. Okay. So I hope that has helped with getting some perspective of what are investable assets, and that I've triggered you to think about, oh yeah, I got one over there, I got one over there, I got one over there. You've gone through your cash flow and you're thinking, okay, maybe do I have extra cash at the end of the month? A lot don't. Okay, you've got investments, but some actually, like maybe 81% of people living in Saskatchewan would like to save more, but you can't afford it. When you have investable assets that you can transfer, that helps. Like Heather. Heather transfers from an existing RSP or non-RSP, like a cash account or something, or her LIRA. Okay, transfer that doesn't create a tax consequence. Okay, but now because of me and the tools that I have access to, I'm squeezing tax credits out of old money. And what do those tax credits give her? Cash at tax return time. 32.5% of $5,000 is $1,625. Pays for a few things, right? So we're squeezing money out of new money out of old money using tax credits. Okay. Or here's another option. You've invested those, you've got those tax credits, hurry up and wait 8 years. And that's no big deal because you started when you're young. So now 8 years comes along and they've matured. Awesome. You're gonna like redeem or recycle those credits and go buy some more and get fresh tax credits, $1,625 worth. There's federal tax credits, there's provincial tax credits. We are giants in Saskatchewan when it comes to our ag economy and our businesses that we have here. We have a really strong economy, and we've got a couple companies that a lot of like our neighboring provinces are envious of some of the tools that we have here that give us provincial and federal tax credits. I'm so proud to be able to hold these because they work. They work. I love talking about them. Okay, so this is where I live. Okay, in here, this is how I want to qualify myself and working with me. Okay, because there's a lot of advisors out there. You need to find one that suits what you're looking for. Okay, don't just take the first piece of advice that you get or the first person that you get an appointment with at the bank, right? Because ideally, you're going to be working with them for years and years. They're going to call, hopefully with some good ideas, and you want to take their call, or you want them to take yours. So do you get along? Do you understand them? Do they understand you? So maximize the true benefit of using a professionals. Okay, professionals know more. Okay, so these are the quadrants, right? Look at their communication style. Okay, are they relationship driven? Do they care? Okay, capabilities. What kind of risk are they taking? Are they, what kind of compliance and oversight do they have? You can ask them, right? What kind of qualifications do you have? Do they have a reputation? You know, who is this person? Do they have satisfied clients? And then this is important. How do you get paid? Okay, it's one of two ways. It's commission, okay, or it's fee-based. Right now, I'm commission only. I have worked with fee-based. In about another year, I probably will introduce fee-based, but right now it's commission only. Okay, whatever revenue that my money brings into Research Capital, they share half with me. So that's how I get paid. We can have 8, 9, 10 meetings. I mean, that's a really inefficient way to do it, but exaggerate the point. I don't get paid for my time. I get paid for trades. Okay. And I'm always going to tell someone, hey, I'm going to make some money off of this. And people say, you should make money off of this. You're good at what you do. So anyways, this is how it works. So work with a financial advisor. And when you're interviewing them, this is what it sounds like. Here's some questions. Okay, what's your specialty? Do you have a specialty? How long you been doing this? Do you have professional designations? How are you paid? Right? We covered that. It's not like going to the dentist or the lawyer. It doesn't work like that. Okay, what proportion of your clients are female? Hi, right here, 68%. I love working with females. I can relate. Okay, I've gone through some of those life events. I've gone through divorce. I've got kids. I'm an entrepreneur growing my practice. Okay, you should be able to relate to your advisor. Okay, do you have experience with ESG? What kind of service standards can I expect? I mean, you can read these too, but these are fair questions. And I would have no qualms with anyone coming in here. And it's not challenging me. It's just, where do you fit? What do you got? Right? Because people will want to work with you. So anyways, and it doesn't matter I mean, how savvy you are. I can meet you where you're at, right? You don't have to be super, super sophisticated for us to work together. If you're just starting, I can help you. If you are super savvy and been doing this for a long time, I know there's tools that I'm using that can help. Okay, so anyway, know who you're dealing with, ask the questions. Okay, I might have mentioned this, but work with a professional. Okay, your professional team should be working together on your behalf. Okay, I work with lawyers all the time. I work with accountants all the time. Okay, lawyers help set up trusts, and it's about control. Okay, control of what? Control of beneficiaries, control of your assets, control of your group pension at work, right? That you've never touched that, right? talk to a lawyer. Those cohabitation agreements, that's real, okay? Get the stuff papered properly. Oh, I don't have any assets, just my group pension and my car and my home, and no one would ever touch that. Get it papered. It's important. Get it papered. Something else I want to talk about is probate, okay? And estates that, I mean, when I talked about those savings accounts and then being a taxable transfer, that goes through probate. And probate is $7 for every 1,000, and it's going to add up. So I can't see anyone in the gallery. I don't know if anyone's been an executive here for executor for estates, but you will probably realize that there's delays. It can be disappointing, it can be expensive, and it takes time. So when you have a will and you have assigned beneficiaries, turnkey, undebatable, okay? So work with people. We want to work with you too. Okay, what else have I got here? Look at that, 12:43. And here we are. So this is how to get a hold of me. My name is Jen Glabus. Okay, that's my cell number. My email is jglabus@researchcapital.com. You're going to find me on LinkedIn, and I've got a microsite at jglabus.researchcapital.com. Pick up the phone, call me, email me. I love doing what I'm doing, and I know I make a difference. It helps to be female right now in this industry. It helps working with a female, and I will work hard for you. So what else we got? I want to give you a heads up. Next month, I'm going to be looking at the tools to use. What are my investment options? A lot of people don't know what's a structured note. How do I live off dividends? Everyone talks about dividends. How do you do that? How can I support my employees? I'm trying to recruit, retain employees. How can I help them? I've got a tool. Okay, and then I'm going to have some case studies from women just like you, right? Business owners, retired maybe, just starting, right? And they're all using different strategies, but they've got one thing in common, that's me. So I would love to hear if there's questions. Let's take a pulse here, Tanya.
Okay, so there's no question there. I wonder if okay. So it looks good.
Okay.
And nothing in the Q&A. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? One of the most frequent questions I get, besides, Jen, how do you get paid? Is, okay, so how do we start this? How do we start working together? We have a conversation. We get to know each other a little bit. When I start to work with clients, and they already have assets, we create the type of account, whether it's a TFSA or an RSP or a LIRA, and we transfer from another institution to Research Capital under your account number. That does not create a tax slip. Transferring does not create a tax slip. It's when you withdraw. Okay. And so I really, if someone really likes what they're holding and they want to work with me, we can bring things in kind. So that doesn't mean you have to sell your whole portfolio and bring it in cash. We can keep what you like. Some companies are proprietary and they don't like others holding what they're holding. I've got a lot of tools, and I like to use all of them. It's not just one, and there's not just one way for everyone. But the biggest, most frequent question I get is, I'd love to work with you, but I don't want to have a tax implication. We won't. Until I give you some tax credits, and then you got some money in the bank. But that's one. And then Jen, how do you get paid? Let's go through, let's pick one of those. Oh, I could just go this way. Okay, pick one. Do you follow a code of ethics or set of standards which I may review? Yeah, I rock. I worked hard to get through those exams. I'm proud of those. Investment Industry Regulators of Canada. That's you can't go higher than IROC, okay? What else? As a financial advisor, what do you do? What's your specialty? Separation and divorces. I help people going through those. Like I said, money can be emotional. Paperwork can be intimidating. You don't really trust the people, some of them. And usually when someone has had a major life event, like a divorce or a death, they usually change advisors. So those people are precious cargo, and I've been that person. And you know what? I had an advisor where I said, hey, how do you get paid? And she said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about that. I started worrying about it. And man, it feels good to be licensed and dangerous and have the clarity and transparency. Okay, 7, what service standards can I expect? More than the bank. IROC has a high expectation. My colleagues here, I call them, I work with the wise guys. Customer service, relationships, long-term, somewhat conservative investors. You will have a relationship with me, and we will stay in touch, and we will enjoy talking to each other. That's what you can experience. Any other questions?
No questions there. That's
Okay.
good. But I have a question for you. When do you suggest? So we have some entrepreneurs, they're just really just starting out. They don't have the big assets, etc. Is that still a good time to start meeting with a financial advisor? When is really the best time to work with a financial advisor?
As soon as you're actually 19. Honestly, as soon as you can open a TFSA. That's the minimum age. I want people to have that savings in place, right? But they don't know where to start, right? So I can help them prioritize, right? Oh, we can't figure out if we should be paying down the mortgage or investing, and it's a little bit of everything, and it depends on the interest rates. It depends what you got. It depends where you want to go. But the easiest answer is the sooner the better. Because then you can make a plan, right? Okay, I want to come back, Jen, in a year when I've got that savings, and I'm going to open that TFSA, right? And I'm going to send, $500 every 2 weeks or every month or 1,000, right? Or just what, right? The sooner the better. And just because you've spoken to a financial advisor doesn't mean you have to start investing with them right away. Time takes time, right? So just start and just ask the questions, right? And of course you can look online, right? There's some really good resources online, actually, like for women in wealth specifically. National Bank, they've got great resources. Fidelity, they've got great resources. BMO, that's another one. They've got great resources. So yeah, when is a good time? Anytime. And also just yeah, do some research on your own too, but don't lose yourself in it. You don't have to become an expert. Just ask the right questions, or the questions, to the right people. You can get a straight up answer.
Awesome. Amazing. So there is no other question. Jennifer did mention that you can reach out to her. I did drop that survey in the chat, the Q&A. Please go ahead and respond as best as possible if you can do that. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much, Jennifer, for such an informative presentation. And of course, empowering our female entrepreneurs. Thank you, each and every one of you who joined us today. As a reminder, this webinar will be available on demand on our website by end of day tomorrow. So you can go through with all the resources that I sent via email. If you have not received an email with those resources Jen sent, then you can let me know and I'll be happy to send those to you. Our next webinar is on June 19th, and it's on the topic Building Confidence for Female Investors, and it will also be presented by Jennifer. So I hope you guys to just hop over the page and register for that upcoming webinar. With that being said, thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we will talk soon.
Awesome.
Bye. Okay, bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.